Nickeisha Walsh, welcome to Profile.
Thank you for having me.
Very, very delighted because of the amazing resume you have, and I want to talk a little bit about it. So you run one of Jamaica's biggest agencies. You can probably call it a bank, the Student Loans Bureau, helping thousands of students go to college. And this is really interesting when you think of the fact that probably just about 1 in 3 Jamaicans get to go to university,
yes.
or under 1 in 3 Jamaicans. So your work is super important, and it's a tough job.
Yes,
You're dealing
is.
with a lot of people. They need help. Not enough money to go around, and also big changes in education in terms of the direction overall. And you've been in big jobs for over 15 years.
Yes.
So the Passport, Immigration and Citizenship Agency, or PICA, handles passports and immigration, and the Social Development Commission, SDC, which works with communities. So you're known essentially for sort of fixing problems, building strong teams, and making sure people get great service. And all of that has come through a lot of hard work and sometimes a lot of struggle. Before we get to this question of where you come from and what's sort of crafted you, talk to me first about the job. What's it like having such a big job?
Well, I try to take the job one day at a time. I look at the impact or what needs to get done before I talk about the job in terms of the huge or the magnitude of the function. But it is significant because when you are impacting thousands of lives, you want to ensure that you're doing the right strategies, you're looking at the right programs, you're looking at the right systems and the technology and people get it done. So it has a huge impact on you as an individual because you want to get it right, but it also is fulfilling because when you do get it right, you can see the fruits of your labor by thousands of Jamaica who is benefiting today because of their tertiary level education. It's
a difficult job, though, to get right from the perspective of, you know, the expectations in relation to it. As I was saying just a moment ago, fewer than 1 in 3 Jamaicans even get to go to a tertiary institution. We're not talking just here about a university, we're talking about certain institutes, we're talking about even teachers' colleges. Does it get frustrating?
Not necessarily in terms of frustrated. What is a turn-off or what is a challenge is when you're trying to assist the students throughout the institution and then probably they don't get to continue because of other financial challenges, because outside of the tuition, they may have boarding, they may have other school-related expenses. So the frustration comes is when you're trying to do your best and they do offer the tuition, but they end up not taking the opportunity because of other related expenses. So that is where the frustration comes in trying to go above and beyond to help these students, and they still are not able to do what they want to do.
You said to me earlier that this is something that's particularly important to you because the SLB was one of the ways in which you yourself were able to go to college. But I want to take a step back and talk about how you grew up so that people can understand the context of why it's so important to you. You grew up in Jonestown, but not everybody in Jamaica knows where Jonestown is. So situate it for us and tell us a little bit about the circumstances.
Okay, so I was born at 29.5 Bembo Street. It's like if anybody asks me where I was born, that address has stuck to me. Even though I've moved over the years, I don't forget 29.5. I was born in a tenement yard and had 5 family persons within the yard.
Families?
Families. So it had 1 at the back, 2 at the front and 2 at the side. I can remember it, I can visualize it with the wash pipe at the front of the yard, with the restroom at the back of the yard, and then it's about everybody sharing the facilities with the outside kitchen. Growing up in Jonestown, I didn't feel challenged or I didn't feel like I was less than because I had a mother who provided, and what she provided at the time to me was enough because I had food going to bed, I had my uniform, I was going to school. I may not be able to afford cook lunch at school, but I could leave school and go home because, you know, my primary school or all-age school was Central Branch All-Age, which is on Slapping Road. So it was just 5 to 10 minutes walk home. So because I was going to school and enjoying school, I really didn't feel poor because I thought at the time I was getting the best because the best foods were being cooked and I was excelling in school. So while it was not an ideal situation, talk of poverty, it was enough for me, and it was satisfying for me because I didn't feel I was missing out. And because of the tough environment, and because she knew the circumstance, she instilled in me, you know, Keisha, because she called me Keisha, you have to go to school, make sure you pass all the, you know, your test.
She was telling you this?
She was just telling me, mark you, she don't understand one work that I was doing. Keisha, do your homework? Yes, mommy, even though she don't even know how to do the math nor the English, but she was interested of me ensuring that I do what I need to do, because at that time, in my time, it was about education being the only route out of poverty.
Where was your father?
Well, I wasn't living with my father. My mom and my father separated from, she was pregnant. But I had a wonderful stepfather that when I was born, I was living with him. I didn't miss any fatherhood or any father role, because he stepped up and, you know, took me as his child. So he worked at the wharf at the time, and she worked at Ministry of Health, and she was the office attendant, and I think he was the person that did the packing and the handling. But I didn't miss any. I didn't miss being not in a family that is not loving and sharing. So I got that. I may not be in the most affluent homes, but I got all the necessary things a child would need. So
and you said this also, particularly because of your mother's, you know, talking about the role and importance of education meant that you're excelling in school. I want to talk a little bit about that, but we have to take our first break on Profile. My guest is the Executive Director of the Students Loan Bureau, Nickeisha Walsh. Back with you after these messages.